what everybody else in the media does, just create some shit and throw it on the wall and see what sticks, which is what I see happening everywhere. Why don't you start calling around and see if you can get somebody else to play us, and we'll play them. We'll play anybody you can get to play us. You know, all that stuff you write about how good we are and all that stuff they hear on ESPN, it's like poison. You know what I mean? It's like taking poison, like rat poison. So we're going to play everybody who can expedite winning the game. That's what we're going to do. So I don't think anybody should expect us to do anything else. Do you guys take math? Do you have math class? Did you learn how to add when you did have math class? Like 22 and 3 make 25? I mean, if I could tell you why you asked that question, hell, I wouldn't be up here. Right? I mean, so how do I know why we didn't practice good on Wednesday? Now y'all scared to ask another question? When I came here, everybody was happy to win a game. All right, now we're not happy to win a game anymore. We're not happy to win a game at all. All right, we think we should win games by whatever.
You tell them, Coach. You tell them. You tell them. Hey, guys, welcome to the daily Coach's Call on Tap Chalk Talk show. Coach Jennings, thanks for being on. Donnie, thank you for being on. I am on edge right now, boys. I am not gonna lie. You know me. I wear my feelings on my sleeve. You know where I stand at all times. Coach, he worked with me. He knows exactly when I'm up, exactly when I'm down. And I'll tell you what, Nick Saban, I've always looked up to him. I patterned most of my rah-rah speeches over him. I patterned how I attacked every practice, every season by his process. And he is the greatest college football coach to ever walk the sideline, and he retired. And so congratulations, Coach. Thank you for everything you've done. I don't think this generation will see a coach like that again. I hope they do, and I hope they take it for what it is. I'm going to miss Coach Saban, and I know a lot of people will. And now, so all of you Saban haters, you don't have a fucking thing to say now, right? He's gone, so now you should win. All you volunteer guys, all you Pac-12 guys, the Big 12 guys, he's not in your way anymore. He's not in your way anymore. So you don't have to say, well, he's Satan. But for me, it's a sad day in football. It really is. I think he's one of the greatest. He's got great one-liners. He knew what was going on. But Coach, we talked about this, man. It's no fun coaching in college anymore the way they're fucking doing it. And I think that was one of the reasons why he just decided to hang him up. I'm not speculating. I'm not here to speculate. I'm here to tell everybody he is the greatest. He's going to be the greatest. And he's gone today. And it took me by surprise, by shock. Coach Jennings, what do you think? I'm the one that told you the news. What do you think about Coach Saban and him retiring, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing. I'm not necessarily shocked. I could say I didn't necessarily see it coming this year, but I kind of saw it, the evolution of what was going to be the end eventually. But I think you're 100% correct in saying that the NIL, the transfer portal, and the shit show that is college football right now is probably ran him out of the game a little bit earlier than maybe anticipated. Pete Golding, who's the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss, is a friend of mine. Now, I don't get to see Pete, but maybe once a year when I go to the national convention and so forth, right? That just happened. I wasn't able to be there for reasons I don't want to speak about. But anyway, long story short, I'm usually there. Last year I was there, and Pete was talking about the fact that he was searching for another job, and he didn't mention Ole Miss, but come to find out he ends up at Ole Miss, right?
Right.
But I think part of that was the fact that he could see the writing on the wall with how fed up that Nick was, and the fact that all this stuff was a circus to him as well, and that a 72-year-old man he'll evolve because that's who he is, and he likes to win. He's going to do what's best for the kids first and what's best for his team first, and that was, evolving with all that. But in saying that, I just think it was horrendous for him to have to deal with on a day in, day out basis. I mean, just look at his comment to Feinbaum, or whoever in the hell that was, about making the finals and playing in the Rose Bowl in the semis, right? It's, this is a gift. You mean I don't get back that week of recruiting?
Right. exactly.
that I just lost. I mean,
Yeah.
things like that started to wear on him and tear on him. And I just think it was hard to be the CEO.
Yeah, he got tired of the bullshit. Donnie, what do you think about Coach Nick Saban retiring, man?
I mean, I think that, it was something that, if you remember me and you talked about it a couple of years ago, I mean, almost 2 years ago, we talked about how long Nick Saban had. And I told you then, I think the NIL deals and the stuff that with the transfer protocol, that was going to be his sign to move on. And we talked and I said, hey, I think Dion is the perfect choice to replace him. And I think he wants Dion there. We talked about it. It's a is it a stretch? Listen, it's a stretch. I get it. It's a long stretch, but they have a close relationship and things like that. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I think Nick stepping down now was exactly what we talked about then. It's a different game. I mean, he relied on his name and his reputation for building teams and building players specifically to go to the NFL. And now I don't know that these guys want to play for the NFL. They want to play for the NIL, which is the now league. I mean, so I think it's something that he loves I don't know him. I'm just looking at it from an outsider. I think he loves the aspect of taking that player that's here and taking them to the pro level. I mean, look at the pro level. How many people are from Alabama? There's a shit ton.
Yeah.
But now you don't have those kids. Those kids don't care about going to the NFL. They care about getting the now paycheck. And if they don't make the NFL, hey, I got paid $5 million, and
it's a different
lifetime for a lot of people.
It's a different animal now. I mean, we talked about it. Coach and I coached together. God, I don't remember how more than 10 years ago, I guess.
13.
Around there.
12,
I mean, it's just it's a whole different animal. I talked to our head coach here in Bastrop because I take care of all his vehicles and stuff, and we were talking, and we have a buddy on the Discord. He's a quarterback in Louisiana, and he just signed an NIL deal as a senior in high school. He's getting paid $8,000 a month in high school, Jack. And I told Coach, he goes, we're fixing to get it here. He goes, I'm already trying to make a plan. And this guy came from Lake Travis. So he's, he coached under Hank. He was his offense coordinator over there. And so he knows what's going on. He goes, man, I'm already trying to get my matrix ready and all this to, how am I going to approach all these businesses here in town? Because I'm going to need to go get the number 2 quarterback at Dripping Springs or at Waco Midway over here. And we got to pay him some money, man. We've got to, and so it's trickling down. And you talk about the shit show that is the NCAA, everything rolls downhill. Everything rolls downhill. And it's going to get to the high school level soon enough. And Coach, I think, I don't know that you want to be a coach anymore. We talked about being specialty coaches, in the summer and teaching kids how to run and pass and catch and do I think that's where it's ending up, because I don't think that I want to do this anymore, man. Who the hell would want to do that? And I think Saban was the same way. It's just too much shit. I can no longer go out and just be a ball coach. Remember, we used to talk about, we used to look at guys and man, that's a ball coach right there. That's a ball coach right there. You don't get to do that anymore, because now you got to shake hands and kiss babies and pay players to come play for you, man. I mean, I hate it. And I guess I just hate the whole fact that I'm losing Coach Saban. And I'm an Aggie fan, dude, and he'll whip our ass 9 out of 10 times. But I grew up with this, I grew up with him and how he coached and everything. And then, you got Belichick and we'll talk about this later. He might be gone here pretty soon. So now you got 2 of the greatest coaches ever. I do want to say one thing, though, to Donnie on what he said about Dion. Alabama, by a million miles, has had the 2 greatest college football coaches span their sideline.
Not even close. Not even close.
Not even close.
Right. Not even close.
I find it really, really hard for these guys to go get a circus conductor, which I think he's one of the greatest athletes of all time, to come with his 4-win season and take over the Alabama Crimson Tide. Boy, I find that hard to fucking believe.
I mean, Here's the thing, though. He is like him or hate him, he knows three things. He knows promotion, he knows money, and he knows how to get people around him that want to win. So if you look at it like I do from a business perspective, because I mean that's what college football is now. It's business, right?
Yeah.
Who's
But
going
you
to
still have to
money?
win. You still have to win. You can
You
go
gotta
make
win.
$18
You
million.
still got to hire good coaches.
Exactly. But
dude, he brought in
let's say-
$18 million, but he still couldn't win. You're gonna bring Alabama $18 million. Dude, Alabama's not built on money. Alabama's built on championships. And I just pray that they hold on to that. Go ahead, Donnie. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just that
No, I
struck
agree.
me.
I agree. But here's the thing that I look at. If you want to win in this day and age, you got to spend money. That's all there is to it. I mean, you're going to have to spend money to get those players.
Okay.
Yep.
There's nobody that can recruit better than Deion. I mean, let's be serious. Colorado, if you tell me Colorado gets 3 of the top 50 players before Deion's there, I tell you you're crazy. And they got 7 of the top 50 last year.
Right.
So that's a huge jump considering how many games they win the year before. 1?
Yeah. Well,
And I mean,
I get it, but
Colorado is not a place you want to go.
No, but somebody in our Discord said the same thing. They're like, well, why doesn't Alabama just get a coach from Duke or something? That seems to work out. He's just being a fucking smartass. He's just being a fucking smartass. I get it. But here's the thing. Even A&M is higher in they've got a better transfer portal class than Colorado.
Yeah.
And Elko's only been there for 3 weeks.
You know the leading
So
candidate
does
out of the gate?
TCU.
Yeah.
TCU's, up there. You know what I mean?
Do y'all know who the leading candidate out of the gate is right now?
Well, I've heard because I've been in the what do you call the backwoods of the internet or whatever. What's his name from Washington's already there in Alabama. His feet are on the ground there right now. That's what
Jones.
That's what I get. That's what I hear.
Butch Jones.
Butch Jones.
Yep.
Where do you get that from?
He's in Alabama right now.
Well, I said the same thing about this other dude. I don't even know his name.
He was the first. He was the first call, from what I've understood. Tennessee coach, then moved. Had that rough spot. Arkansas's had a great comeback underneath him.
What'd you say, John?
Lanning from Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into that. Who's going to do, because we don't fucking know. We're not even in the know.
Do any of these names that we just mentioned make the splash with donors like Deion?
No, but I just think Deion. I think Deion is fit for. I think you have a good point, Donnie.
Yeah.
But I think it's fit for certain areas.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
He'd be great. That would be great for USC, UCLA. Yeah. It's got to be that Hollywood mentality.
He'd be great for Florida. He'd be great for Florida State.
That mentality's not at Alabama.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think
got more national
from the top
fans?
to the bottom, from the president. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it.
It's just not a fit.
Well, my look at it is this: there's like 3 major schools in the nation that attract that national brand. Alabama, you got to say, Ohio State.
Right.
And then I would say Notre Dame. That's the top 3 that have that, from coast to coast brand. And Alabama is at the top of that list because you either love Alabama or you hate Alabama. And the reason you hate them is because they win a lot. The reason you love them is because they win a lot. I think that if Deion went there, you would see a rebranding of Alabama to not the our history is championships. Our history is going to be in your face. We're going to throw promotions at you.
Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that a guy like Deion Sanders is going to go somewhere great and crumble that motherfucker to the ground. Because Deion isn't about winning. He's about the bling. He's about the money. He's about getting all his rappers and all his fucking and all that shit. And I mean, he wants the Rolex. He wants the Lambos. All that shit. And dude, I'll tell you what. Unless you keep it in the garage like Saban does, them Lambos they don't roll in Alabama, man. We want championships. Did you hear what Auburn did? This is why I love college fucking football.
Paper?
Yes. Auburn already rolled Toomer's corner, bud. When it came out that Saban retired, they rolled Toomer's. You gotta fucking love college football, man. You gotta love it. I'll tell you what. You want to make a splash, Alabama? Go get Sark from Texas. You want to make a splash?
He's on the list.
You want to make a splash? Go get Sark from Texas, buddy.
He's on the list.
I mean, but I just think I think Alabama. I just think they're molded to win championships. That's what they want to do. They want a guy in there to win championships, not to create a circus and bring all these kids. Because I mean, there's only so much you can do. And I think you're right, Jennings. I think Deion is perfect in a perfect spot. I think a Colorado is perfect for him. And I don't know of too many others. Maybe like an Arizona team, something like that. A Florida State. Florida State could do something.
Miami.
Dude, watch out for Dabo. Watch out for Dabo, man. His name's already popped. I know we're not big fans, but his name's already popped up. He's got ties in Alabama. It's going to be really, really cool to see what happens. I think something's going to happen really soon. I don't think this is going to drag out very long. I think something's going to happen.
I guarantee you the Lane train's already got an agent on the phone.
Oh, yeah. But, dude, I mean, he's already whipping Alabama's ass in recruiting already. I mean, he's getting –
but I think
Lane's getting close, buddy.
Lane and Sark are the two flashiest you can get and be at Alabama, and it'd be okay.
Yeah. I think so. A coach that I really like, I think he's in the wrong place, is Josh Heupel, man. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
Heupel's a good coach. I know.
He's a ball coach. I like him. But anyway, dude, Nick Saban, thank you for the years, Coach. I love you, man. I love everything about you. The coaching tree, all the guys that you threw out there that have become great coaches all over the place. All the players. I mean, there's so many you can't even name. And you took an Alabama team that was in the doldrums, that they were in nowhere, and you got your ass beat the first year, and then you said, "That's it, brother. Here we go." And he created something that people just couldn't stand unless you lived in Alabama. And if you're a real ball coach, you appreciate what this man did, not only for Alabama but for college football altogether. So, Coach Saban, hats off, man. Happy retirement. You are the man, always will be the man, my brother.
I think he's the best of all time, like college, pro. I mean, I know Belichick and the whole, but he was able to do it without a Brady. He was able to do it on a consistent basis. So, in my opinion, he's the best of all time.
I'm with you. Hard to argue. All right.
And here's the other thing about Nick that people forget. He did it at different schools.
Yeah, LSU. Michigan State, they were freaking a 10-win.
Listen, Bear Bryant, until coming into this, was the GOAT. But now Nick has done it at Alabama and at LSU. You can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
You got to say, okay, that's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hats off, Nick. Hats off, baby. Great job. So, all right, Coach Jennings, you ready to hear this? Me and Donnie are gonna. Me and Donnie are going to talk a little bit.
Oh Lord,
go for it.
No. You're the one that brought it up. I mean, you did the TikTok, brother. I heard you, and I heard you loud and clear.
I didn't.
We talk about ball coaches here, Jennings. We always talk about ball coaches, right? This guy's a ball coach, brother. Not only that, he was a player. This guy was a player, and he played at the highest level, at the highest place in New England.
And it's a Ring of Honor member.
And he's in the Ring of Honor, dude. And he's got, dude, if as soon as Bill's gone, this guy's going. And if he's going, he might take Coach Smith that just got fired at Atlanta as the OC. There's the OC. Mike, yes, Ray, he's gone.
Yeah, they worked together, Atlanta guy.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Coach Vrabel, he's gone at the Titans.
Which is crazy.
So, yeah. So I'm going to let Donnie start because he did. You want me to play the TikTok, Donnie? You want to play your TikTok?
No, it's all right. I
Okay.
can
Okay.
rehash it for Coach.
Go ahead, rehash
So-
it, Donnie, because you're excited about him gone.
Well, now here's the thing.
No. Don't sugarcoat it.
I look at it. No, I'm going to tell you why.
Go ahead, buddy.
So, what do you want out of a head coach? You want somebody that can coach people up, builds a great staff, and wins. That's three things, right?
Right.
Name me one player he brought in and he coached up.
All I can say, all I can say is this. All right. 2018, 9-7. 2019, 9-7. 2020, 11-5. 2021, 12-5. And then you got a new GM. He was supposed to be. He was supposed to. He was supposed to have some GM. He was supposed to have some GM power because that's why they got rid of the other one. And then his woman owner brought in somebody else. So I don't know about the players, but I know he was going to a certain point, and then the Jerry Jones effect came in. Go ahead.
Okay, so Rand came in this year. We've only got 1 year under Rand.
You're right.
Last year was him and the old GM. And what was their record?
Yeah, it was 7-10.
All right. This year, what was it?
6-11.
All right. So if you take that back one more, he is 15-34 in his last 15 or 50 games, almost 49 games.
6 years.
That is not good. That's just not good.
13-21 his last 2 years.
So the thing that I look at is
Is that what you asked? The last 2 years?
I think it's something I saw. He was like,
all right. Since he's been there, he's 54-45. His winning percentage is 545.
all right, let's go with coaching players up.
That's
Let's
pretty
go
good.
coaching players up. It's hard to find a player that he has coached up. And when you talk about coaching them up, that means that other teams are actively recruiting them. Outside of A.J. Brown, we haven't had people actively recruiting our players.
Henry.
I mean, but I mean, Henry stayed with the team. They haven't said, hey, we're willing to trade for something for this person. But when people leave the organization, they always have bad things to say about the Vrabel coaching style. So that gives me that coaching players up. Next part, staff, building your staff. Under Mike Mularkey and Jeff Fisher, we saw their coaching staff, their offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, move on to other jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They all were upgraded to head coaches. You saw some people upgraded to, head coaching positions. Under Vrabel, zero. In fact, when people leave his coordinating staff, they're done. They're not going to another coach for another, they're not going to another team. They're taking a step back and going to college or high school. So his picks on coordinators are awful. Look at the strength and conditioning coach. Look at the offensive coordinators. That should be enough. And if you talk to people in the organization, they all say the same thing. Vrabel is loyal, which is a great trait. I mean, I love being loyal. Hell, I got 2 ex-wives. I don't know what loyal fucking looks like. But that said,
touche.
When you're loyal to a fault, it's a bad part. When you can't take that offense coordinator and say, hey, buddy, you're going to have to change the game plan up. That's not working. That's on you. That's the head coach's responsibility to get the team to win. The last part's winning. You can tell me, leaving Mike Mularkey, you have 3 good years. He had 3 very good years. Made coach of the year. Follow it up by a losing season. What happened? Like, what was the dynamic that happened? You can't tell me it was draft picks. You can't tell me it's stuff like that. Him and the old GM were responsible for some draft picks. And if you go back and look at the Titans' first-round draft picks, I mean, this is not Amy. Amy Strunk is.
No, you said him. You said him and the GM were responsible for that.
Yes, he had.
I didn't think he had any control, and that's why.
Oh no.
That's why it went bad.
He did have part. If you look at his contract, he had a not necessarily a GM type.
Okay. I hear you. Here's where I'm getting confused. Here's what I'm getting confused by what you're saying. Here's my confusion about what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Okay. I don't believe in the NFL unless you are a Bill Belichick type of guy. I don't believe in the NFL that the head coach has all that power. All I can see is this guy was building something for 5 years. He was building something, and it got to a point where it fell. So the
One
last 2 years were
comment.
bad. So for me, there's got to, it can't be him because he was building something for 5 years. He went from 9-7 to 12-5, and now all of a sudden he can't hire coaches. He doesn't have draft picks. He doesn't develop players. I mean, because in 5 years, you can't tell me that he took over a team and that entire team stayed with him for 5 years and then they left. And so now the 7-10, 6-11 are him. I mean, he's from what I've heard and read and all that. I don't know anybody in the inside. I don't know what they're saying in there, but the GM in a professional organization is everything. I mean, Jerry Jones proved that. I mean, he proved that to a dime. So, I mean, it's just hard for me to believe that, okay, the last 2 years he hires bad. He doesn't develop players because for 5 years he was building it. And then all of a sudden it went to shit. Go ahead, Don.
Let's look at it by draft picks. I mean, 2018, he inherited, that was his first year. He inherited a very, very bad draft. When I say very bad draft, they only had 4 picks the entire draft. That's because they made some bad decisions leading up to it. So we'll look at those. He did have a play in that. He had a hand in that. His best draft pick was Harold Landry, who's still, well, he was with the team. All other ones are gone. Again, I'm not going to blame that one on him. His first year, full season, he gets Simmons and A.J. Brown and Armani Hooker. Those are 3 fucking knockouts. Those are huge.
Okay.
He follows it up the next year with Isaiah Wilson not playing anymore, Christian Fulton still playing, but not with the Titans, Evans, Murchison, McDaniel, and Chris Jackson all gone. So 1 out of 6. He then gets more control.
And he goes 11-5, and he goes 11-5.
Goes 11-5.
Okay.
Gets more control.
Gets more control.
Caleb Farley, who's still with the team. And then again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people out of that draft class that aren't in the league.
Okay.
We're talking about people like his 2nd round pick, Dylan Radins.
No, I mean, I understand he did bad, but then he goes 12-5.
All right. Now he's done.
Absolute
now
shit.
He's done. So he's done
with
full
what?
control. He had full control of the next year. Traylon Burks.
He had full
Roger
control?
McCreary yep. Because that was when the old GM was leaving. Like Strunk had already pretty much made her mind up. She was getting rid of him. They draft Traylon Burks, who's turned out to be a bust. They draft Roger McCreary, also a bust because he's injured a lot. Nicholas Petit Frere, gone from the team. Malik Willis, bust. Haskins, bust. Okonkwo is the best player they drafted. They drafted him at 4th round. Phillips,
so then they go 7-4. So then those are his again. Now, and so they go 7-10.
When they hired Rand this year, most of that control got shifted, but Rand's didn't have all of it. He wanted more control, and he didn't get it. They fought over their 1st round pick, which was Peter Skronsky. And Skronsky was supposed to be a left tackle, and he's probably too small to be a left tackle. He did not play 1 snap at left tackle. He played left guard because he doesn't have the reach to get.
All right, I get it. We don't need to get into all that because we're not recruits or anything. I understand reach, and I understand how long you got to be.
Levis and Spears, who turn out to be a good team.
They go 6-11, so he's supposed to get full GM. The story was, and again, it's a story. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just see
control,
what you're saying, and what I see as the records and the control. What you're saying and what I'm looking at just doesn't add up. But he was supposed to get full control, and then this lady, I don't know what went wrong, if she's going through menopause or whatever, decided, no, I'm not going to do that with you. I'm going to get me a GM. I'm not going to let give you full deal. And so, fuck it, he was gone. I mean, he was gone when they put him in the Ring of Honor at the Patriots game. They had the red jersey. What's his name? McAfee had him on today. He was giving his big speech, and he's like, we're going to win, and we're here, and we're loud. Like, dude, you're still a head coach somewhere. And he's like, no, we're here. So everybody kind of got the idea that, you know what, he's not going to be a Tennessee Titan. It's over. And so
when Amy took over the team, and you know, that was part of his contract was, I get more control, and you know, their old GM made some good decisions early, and then he started, you know, he was giving more control to Vrabel because, you know, that's how Vrabel's contract was structured. I don't know exactly the relationship, but I can tell you that, you know, I'm sure Amy was like, listen, we got a new stadium coming. We need splash. Have you seen the movie with Kevin Costner about a football coach?
Yep.
What's the name of that movie?
I don't know, but I understand. We need splash. So here's the thing. So now they're going to get splash. And so now Vrabel is going to go, mark my word. And if this happens, I don't know that it's going to happen with Bill. He's going to be the next head coach. If Bill does go to just strictly GM, they're going to hire Vrabel as a head coach. He's going to hire Smith as an OC, and they're going to win a championship within 2 years.
I'll say this.
He's a ball coach.
I think he's a hell of a player. I think he's a decent coach. I think he's such a building.
He's number one on everybody's list right now.
He's a great coach.
He's number one on everybody's list.
I'm still in denial how he got fired.
All right. I'll tell you how he got fired. 2 reasons. He's too loyal, and he cannot recruit coaches for shit.
And Amy's crazy. There's that.
What? All right. If Amy's crazy, why does the offense with a stud, the number 1 back in the NFL in the last 3 years, you can't
Oh, yeah. And if he does, get this. If he does go, King Henry's going with him. He won't stay in Tennessee.
No.
Watch.
Rand's already said that, you know, it'll be the new coach's decision if he wants to keep Henry and go after Henry. And Derek wants to stay here. Derek's loyal to a portion, but Derek has said, I want to finish my career as a Titan. He's got a beautiful house here. He does have a beautiful house in Dallas as well, but there's a lot of roots here. He wants to bring a ring here, because if he brings a ring here, he'll do something that no other Titan has ever done.
So who do you think you're going to get, Donnie? Who do you think you're going to get over there? Who are you hoping for? I've been waiting for this answer all day long.
Nick
I can tell you.
And you can't say Belichick either.
I will tell you that they have already requested 4 interviews with teams that are still in contention. And Mike McDonald is one. Antonio Pierce is another. Even though he is they're not in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs, but they requested it. Brian Callahan, Dan Quinn, and Ben Johnson and Eric Gwynn. So they've already sent out 5 requests.
And they'll send out 5 more.
They'll probably send out 5 more.
Well, you got to go. Hey, nowadays, dude, here's the crazy thing. Nowadays, you got to have four minority interviews before you can even interview a white dude. Right?
They've already got that. Already got that.
I don't know if it's 4, but there's a number. Yeah.
There's a number, right? You gotta
Eric Bieniemy, they don't have to put a request in for. He's gonna get one. But I can tell you that they have, you talk about Antonio Pierce, you're talking about Ben Johnson, Aaron Gwynn.
So let me ask you this, Donnie. You wouldn't want Josh McDaniels, Frank Wright, Brandon Staley.
No, they're not going.
Arthur Smith, Ron Rivera, Pete Carroll.
Not going
Say
with either
Peter
of those
or
guys.
Arthur. Yep.
I'll tell you the one that I think they want. I think they want Harbaugh.
Okay. Fair enough.
And
I just wanted to talk. I don't want to bear down our podcast on the Tennessee
I don't
Titans.
wanna bear it.
I really don't give a shit.
If you want to,
I don't really give a shit about the Titans. I just it was funny. It was funny because me and Donnie are on complete opposite sides of this thing. Like I'm like, okay, I've got to talk to Donnie about this. I want to.
So here's the kicker on it. If you listen to the Amy Strunk interview,
I will never listen to her. Go ahead.
Well, they asked her, why didn't you think about trading Vrabel because he's under contract? And that's a big thing. I mean,
I heard that stupid fucking comment.
But she said, we didn't want to be at the back of the line and wait 3 weeks before we made a decision.
I'm not going to be in the back of the line. Shut the fuck up.
Well, hey, you want to win it?
Yeah.
You want to win it? Or you come in second?
Yeah, you're exactly right. She's funny.
Hey, you can talk about her all you want, but God, man, she got some Phillips in her. Because love him or hate him, old man Phillips wanted to win. That's all there was to it.
Yeah.
And did he make
She
bad
reminds me,
decisions?
have you ever seen Any Given Sunday?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
100
That's who she
100 times.
reminds me
Cameron
of. dude.
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. There you go. But
There it is.
not so pretty. So anyway, hey, let's get on to this one, dude.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Another one, bro. And this broke my heart. I couldn't watch the entire press conference. Pete Carroll, he's done at the Seahawks. Now you want to talk about a ball coach? You want to talk about a guy that puts his heart and soul and everything he's got into these men, these young men, these coaches, into the game. John, we used to respect the game itself. Like, this is the hard part, and this is, I think, this is what separates me and the way I look at things from 90% of our Discord, because we got a bunch of kids, younger than 25. These
I know,
guys,
it pisses me off all the time.
Yeah,
I just stay off of it sometimes. All right.
These guys don't even.
Like,
Sports didn't happen before 9/11 with these guys, and they just don't understand the respect for the game, the love of the game. And everything's funny and everything's a fucking joke. And one guy even said, "Oh, Saban's gone. Here comes the demise of the SEC. This is the greatest day ever." Dude, the SEC has more fucking teams in it than any other conference. It is the biggest conference. There's no demise to the SEC. The SEC is going to live on forever. I mean, by the time our grandchildren are up, there's just going to be one conference. And it's going to be the SEC. Every team in the nation is going to be in the SEC. So shut the fuck up about that. Anyway, Pete Carroll, dude, what I loved about him is the love of the game. Just like Saban, you respect the game. You respect everything about the game. The old, the new, the changing of the guard, all that stuff. You take it in and you move. And at 72, man, I think the guy could fucking coach another 10 years. But I mean, I've always been a big fan of old Pete, him chewing the gum and throwing the, I don't know. What are y'all's takes? I'll start with you, John. Me and Donnie have taken over most of this shit. Coach, what do you think about Coach Carroll, man? Did you ever meet him? Did you ever get to be around him?
Yeah, one time at the convention, so Carl Scott, who's a friend of mine, is his defensive backs coach, which I'm wondering what the hell Carl's going to do now. But he'll find another job. He's a great defensive backs coach, and he worked for Saban, which is kind of funny. At Alabama, was the defensive backs coach, secondary coach there as well. Anyway, long story short, I mean, I've met him. Was a guy that, was genuine. Like, it wasn't too big to meet me, right? I'm just a lower end small school coach, right? And he was, hey, great to meet you, like real good guy. So as far as like kind of what you said, like he treated players, coaches at all levels, right? High school and above, with the first class nature. And so with that being said, right, just kind of compounds the effect of what he had and the effect he made on not just his players, but coaches that were in the business around him. Yeah. And so with that being said, it sucks. I mean, I wish it didn't happen on the same day. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, Pete's definitely one of those guys going to be missed. Now I heard, I don't know, and again, when you told me, I was kind of shocked and trying to work and doing stuff, but maybe he'll take a general manager type of role or consultant role within the Seahawks. But both these guys, man, both these guys, 72 plus. I mean, getting up there. I mean, they made all this damn money. Shouldn't they enjoy it for the next 10 years?
They should, but then again, dude, it's hard to get out of it. You know.
Well, you and I both know that it's hard to get out of your system. Period. I mean, I still wake up, even when I didn't coach that year. I woke up yelling in the middle of the night at all kind of people, my daughter and everybody else, just kind of like walking through the house, like because my body said I should be coaching in August and September. Yeah, and my mind, after 23 years, was like not taking a rest.
I got you.
But anyway. Another conversation, another time. But yeah, Coach, I mean, it's a disappointment on many levels. Not disappointment, that's probably not a good word, but just, you know, I respect everything both those guys did for the game, and they're first class, in my opinion. First class.
Amen. Donnie, you got anything to say about old Pete Carroll?
I'll say this. I mean, as far as you talk to the players and you listen to the players that played underneath him, they don't have anything bad to say about him. I mean, everything they say is how positive, how inspiring he is, how good of a coach he is. I get it. It sucks. Seattle's never been that brand of team that he had previously. I mean, when he was in the NFL previously, he had a great track record. And Seattle's had a good run, but they're a small market team. I mean, end of the day, they are a small market team, and he made him a big market name. I mean, just his ability to coach people up and hire the better people. Man, it's been a great run. I hate to see him go. I do understand why. It's that whole, it's time to move on. It's time to, I mean, what is he now? 78?
No, he's like 72, 73.
Oh, is he? I mean, he's up there. I mean, you got the Mike McDaniels of the world and the new generation.
Yeah.
It's hard to be that 70-year-old coach in the NFL. I mean, Belichick's seeing it. He's seeing it. They're the most tenured guys, aren't they, in the NFL? Yeah. Is there anybody else?
But this is why we love these guys. It's because of stuff like this.
Hey, could you see Saban? You see Saban going to Seattle?
You're going to come to the game.
Never.
In full strut.
Never.
Thinking I'm going to tell everybody I got that guy to come to Alabama. And they run through our ass like shit through a tin horn, man, and we could not stop it. If it was up to you, we're 6 foot under already. We're dead and buried and gone. Gone. You guys gave us a lot of really positive rat poison.
This is great.
The rat poison that you usually give us is usually fatal. But the rat poison that you put out there this week was yummy.
Coach Saban, dude, we're going to miss you. We love you. Coach, thanks for being on. Donnie, thank you for being on. Thank you for disagreeing with me, Donnie. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
We need to do that more often. Good luck to your Tennessee Titans. In all seriousness, good luck to your Tennessee Titans. Guys, thank you guys for listening. And this is Coach's Call on Tap Daily Chalk Talk. We needed to talk about this for a little bit. We'll be on tomorrow. We'll be on the next day. We're going to talk about NFL. Don't forget our Pick'em show. Like, follow, share, hit that button. Make sure you get notifications. This is your coach. This is Coach's Call on Tap. Thank you for joining in. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Adios, folks.